Okay, everybody, let me get everyone in here, send this out, give me a few minutes. So you're gonna awkwardly watch me play on my cell phone here, and then we'll roll into this. Okay, where is that link? No one's watching. Where is that link? Where'd that crazy link go? Crazy link. Sweet. There we go. Okay. The link is in. Let's get it sent on Remind 101. Copy. Oh, we got one watching. I don't know who you are. If you guys have any questions, get into the chat. I actually have a few questions popping up here. So get on in, and we'll get a rolling with this section here. All right. Two people are in. Okay. Excuse me for just 1 minute. Okay, we got one. Where's everybody else? Where's everybody else? Where everybody else at? Who's the one? It's got to be Titus. Is it Titus? Titus, are you the one watching? Shh. Wrigley. Okay, we're up to 3. All right, we're about ready to get rolling here. We'll be dealing with committees first. Hold on 1 second. All right, 5 people are watching. All right. Bark back. Keith on here. There's Keith in. All right, we're at 3 in the. Now, keep in mind, chat, I can read and see what you guys are watching. Where's Creasman? Creasman was the one getting mad at me. Creasman, are you out there and you're just hiding on Remind 101? 7? Uh-oh. If we get to 9, we may break our all-time record of viewers here. Give everybody another minute to get in, and then gonna get rolling. Ooh. Everybody. Hold on, I gotta give Creasman instructions here. Creasman's been asking questions, so I gotta get him in here. Oh, the dog. Ah, the dog. Me? Me a trucker stash? Are you talking about a handlebar? A handlebar mustache? Is that what you're talking about? Maddie, she's totally already forgotten about that. She did give me the award tonight, so I may need to be nice to her for a second. All right, once Jesse Kreisman arrives on scene, I lost a viewer? That person. Once Jesse arrives on scene, we'll get going here. I assume John Bradley's lurking somewhere as well. No, Titus. What is wrong with you? I will not. I tell you what, Titus. If you, Titus Wilson, personally gets a 5 tomorrow, I will take an eyebrow off. Hold on, let me let chat catch up to that. Titus, did you hear that? Eyebrows coming off if you get a 5. Which scares me because you totally could. You're probably going to get a 5 and I'm to shave an eyebrow off and have weird conversations with my family about why that happened. Okay, no reaction from Titus, clearly. That's a little disappointing. All right, well, let's get going. We're up to 8, so all-time viewership record. Okay, so John Bradley says he's lurking and he's untraceable and cannot comment. Yeah, an eyebrow. That's only for Titus, though. No. Here's the thing. I can't tempt John. It's just too dangerous. 9? Holy crap, we might break double digits, kids. Tell your friends. Actually, don't tell your friends. I don't want to do more kids. All right. So I got kicked a question by Kreisman before we started, and it is a good one. He said, listen, I believe he was saying you did a crappy job explaining. He said you did a crappy job explaining congressional committees, and that is totally fair. It's a tough thing to explain. So congressional committees kind of do the work of Congress. All right, back to the good old whiteboard. Should I go? So congressional committees do the work of Congress. Okay, the entirety of the House and Senate just votes and debates. The actual work where they investigate the laws, the proposed bills, where they have the hearings, where they perform oversight, that's done by the committees, okay? So the vast majority of the work is done in congressional committees, all right? So congressional committees are split up by subject. The biggest type of committee is standing. Every 535 members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, so every member of Congress, sits on a standing committee. Then they're also on a subcommittee. Just know subcommittees exist and still do the hearings and work and markup of a bill, if you will. So congressional committees specialize in a certain subject, like agriculture, okay? That's really distinctive. Let me pull up all of the committees here, okay? And I'll write down a few as examples. So because kids, I can never get the names 100% right because they're named really odd things. And I'll go over the really big ones, okay? So congressional committees. Congressional committees. Okay, so the big Senate one, okay? The big Senate standing committees. I got green tonight. Woo, green. All right. The big standing committees are in the Senate. So Senate are. This is usually when you guys start talking when I'm not looking. Appropriations. All right. Foreign relations. All right, that's a big one. Foreign relations. Judiciary. Oh, my dog's not having any of this business tonight. Where's a domestic policy one? Foreign relations, domestic. All right, either way, we'll go ahead and take those. We'll deal with domestic policy here in a second. Okay. House. All right, House of Representatives. The big committee in the House of Representatives, of course, is rules. Okay. Rules, every bill has to pass through the rules to receive the rules for debate. Okay. The House, House Ways and Means is another big one because that deals with taxation. Okay, Ways and Means. Oh my God, my dog. I've been gone all day. She's not having any of this business. No, I will not bark back. Okay. Okay, so rules, ways, means. Let's toss one more, Adam. Rules, ways, means. Reform, judiciary, intelligence, financial services, ethics, education, workforce, budget, armed services, appropriation. Let's say armed services. Okay, so congressional standing committees. The Senate has appropriations. Okay, I'm going to do this thing where it looks like I'm peering over. Let me make sure you can see this. Can you see this? No, you cannot. Let me tilt this back a little bit. There you go. Okay, congressional committees has a few different types. The major one is standing. In the Senate, these are the most important. Appropriations, foreign relations, and judiciary. Remember, the Senate's main job, a lot of times, is to deal with foreign relations. Remember, they have to approve treaties. They deal with appointment of ambassadors. They have to approve the appointment of the ambassadors. Judiciary, remember, the Senate has to confirm the president's appointments to the Supreme Court and all lower courts. Okay? So those are really important. Appropriations, that means money. Okay? A big fancy word for the government, the national government giving money to the bureaucracy is appropriations. So this committee sits down on the Senate side and says, okay, what money are we going to give to the bureaucracy? The appropriations is a crossover committee. So that means there's two of them, one in the House and one in the Senate. Okay? Foreign relations isn't exactly the same thing. Okay, so the House has the Rules Committee. Again, every bill has to go through that after it passes out of its original committee. Ways and Means determines how they're going to spend tax dollars. Remember, all bills of taxation has to start in the House. It's going to go, any tax bill, to the Ways and Means Committee. And then there's Armed Services, for the House of Representatives to decide how the military is doing. So let's say there's a war that's about to break out, and the declaration of war would first go to Foreign Relations and Armed Services in its respective House, okay? So those are important to understand. These are the very big committees. There are others, okay? But I think these are the most common for you to look at and be like, what the heck is that? They're still very common in there. Okay, let's see if we have any questions based off of all of the crap I just said. Okay, no, I'm not going to bark back at my dog. All right, so that's congressional committees. So they do all of the work of Congress. They're the ones that performs the hearings. They're the ones that goes out and does the investigation and the determination of the bills and how best to handle it. They also deal with appointments. So like judiciary, if you get appointed to the Supreme Court before the entire Senate votes on you, you get interrogated for days on end by the Judiciary Committee. They get to go in there and ferret through your whole entire life. They'll ask you about college and everything and your beliefs. Because remember, judiciary, you're appointed a judge for life, okay? Unless you get impeached, and that is very, very rare. So the Judiciary Committee actually treats people like bills. The Judiciary Committee does the work. They do the investigation. The whole entire Senate debates and votes. That's it. They're not going to actually sit down and talk to the guy, the whole entire Senate. That's not going to happen. Okay? So I want to make that clear. Okay? So committees is very important. So committees watches over their respective bureaucracy. Okay? So let's say the Department of Agriculture wants funding. Well, they've got to go to the Agricultural Committee. And they're going to have to determine. Let's say the Agricultural Committee messes up. They got to go deal with the hearing that they're going to get and the crap they're going to get. So congressional committees' powers are pretty straightforward, right? They're the ones that hold the hearings. So that's the big thing. Congressional committees have the power to hold hearings, okay? And they can force you to talk. Congressional committees hold hearings, okay? They also can look at specific spending. Crucial to understand that. Specific spending. Whoa, I did not spell spending anywhere near correct. That just didn't happen. Okay, specific spending. So if, again, the agricultural department wants money, they're going to have to run through the agricultural committee to get that. Okay, and they'll make the larger request. Jesse, does that answer your question about committees? Give me feedback, I'll wait. And then I'll get to Maddie's civil rights versus civil liberties question. Or anybody else has questions? Yes. Spending. Yes, I did throw a bunch of extra E's in there. Oh, Wrigley's going to bark again. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Okay. FRQ. The reason I'm going to pull this up is I want to use the specific terminology that was used by AP because I think it's exceptionally good. Okay? So let's talk about civil rights and civil liberties. If you have any other questions, throw them in the chat. John Bradley, you throw it into Remind 101. I'll see it, buddy. I know you're lurking. I know you're lurking out there, John Bradley. Okay? I know. John Bradley is all up in my Remind 101 right now trying to figure out how best to make me scared. It's not going to work, John Bradley. I'm on to your games. I'm on to your games, John Bradley. All right. Ooh, okay. Wait. Keithon has a good question, so I'm not going to jump right now because he has a good question. Okay. Keithon, the big difference between select and conference committees and joint committees is those tend to be specialized. They exist for one purpose. Standing are permanent. That's the really big difference. You can get rid of a select, a joint, or a conference committee whenever their job is done. Standing's permanent. You can't get rid of that without an act of legislature. Okay? But, you can have a joint committee, again, on like 9/11, or to investigate an assassination, or to find out what happened in a war, to investigate war crimes, to investigate the president. You can call a joint committee together, or a special committee as it's sometimes called. The big difference is standing committees are specialized. They focus on a broad topic that the senators and members of the House of Representatives have some type of knowledge about. That's pretty crucial to understand. So to answer your question, standing committee is permanent. Joint and conference committees are different. So let's talk about conference committees. Conference committees only exist when there is a difference between a bill. Only when two versions of the same bill are passed. Okay? Where is it? Deals with specific things again. Okay. Let me write it out on the board and hopefully that'll be clear. Okay. I'm going to use different colors. I'm going to get colorful. I'm going to Bob Ross this. Conference committee standing. Permanent. And specialized. All right, give me just 1 second. I'm Bob Rossing it here, kids. There's going to be pretty cheese here when you get here in a minute. Okay. And then Oh my God, I'm opening all the markers here. Special. See, okay, and some happy trees over here. Happy trees over there. All right, here we go. So let me make sure this is on camera because this is my craft work. Conference committee is only when two versions of a bill exist. Okay, so the House of Representatives passes a version of a bill, but then the Senate changes it and passes it. Well, we have two bills that have been passed. They've passed both the House and the Senate. So it's ready to go to the president, but there's a problem. Somebody changed it. So the conference committee is members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, and they sit down and work out the differences between the bill. Then it goes to the president. Not another vote is needed, okay? Standing committees are permanent and specialized, okay? You can't get rid of standing committees. Conference committees, once they're done with that bill, and they fix the differences, they go away. They're gone, okay? That's the deal there, okay? Special or select committees investigate a specific event issue, and they are temporary as well. Once they're done investigating, example, and I use this all the time in class, 9/11, okay? There was something called the 9/11 Commission. It was a member of senators and House of Representatives. They investigated what happened on 9/11 and laws that were needed to prevent another 9/11 from happening. Okay, that's a special or a select committee. Okay, there's one other type of committee I didn't talk about mainly because I didn't have room. So let me talk about that. Okay, and this is a very small subset of committees. I think there's only, let me check. Oh gosh, darn it, I didn't hit the right thing here. Okay, all right. There's only 3 or 4 of them, whatever. Okay, joint committees. Okay, joint committees are semi-permanent, meaning they exist, but they can be destroyed really easily. Semi-permanent, and discuss issues faced in both House, oh God, Wrigley, and Senate. Okay, so this is what a joint is. Okay, they're semi-permanent, and they discuss issues faced in both the House and Senate. All right, they don't want so for issues like taxation, I'm pretty sure there's a joint committee on taxation. They discuss what's going on in both sides to understand how best to proceed with laws, okay? So they exist and they are filled with members from both, okay? So pretty much, standing is specialized. It's kept to either the House or the Senate. Everything else can mix up members of the House of Representatives and senators and are generally not as permanent, okay? A joint committee could go away tomorrow, really. And a joint committee is really just a combining of anything. All right, let's see. There. So, Keithan, does that take care of that? And I'll go to Maddie's civil rights, civil liberties question, if that makes sense. If not, let me know. Maddie, I promise I haven't forgotten that civil rights, civil liberties, okay? I'm just trying to get my markers organized. Oh my God, there's 12 people. What? Maddie's gone? Maddie, can you stick around for a second? I'll talk about it right now. I hate that I didn't get to your question. Yeah, no problem, Keithan. Anytime, buddy. That's what they pay me the big bucks for, guys. To work at night. Oh no, Juan's here. I'm gonna have to start watching the chat. Bradley, why haven't you said anything? You're lurking. Okay, Maddie, give me 1 second. Bradley, I know that's you. I don't even have to look at my phone. I can sense it. Ah, crap. I ran out of word. Gosh darn it. Discrimination. Stupid word. Okay. Maddie, are you with me? Okay, well, either way. Maddie, this one's for you. All right, civil rights, civil liberties. Let's talk about it. Okay, civil rights protects groups from discrimination. Okay, civil liberties protects all individuals from government action. Okay, so civil rights is used by specifically minority groups. Okay, to make sure the government respects their rights and doesn't violate them. This is one of the features of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to make sure the government isn't biased against one group or another. So civil rights, think again of the civil rights movement in the 1960s where black Americans sought equal treatment and got rid of Jim Crow laws in the South and ended segregation. Okay, that's an example of civil rights. The government wasn't protecting from discrimination and was forced to. Civil liberties protects all individuals, regardless of race, gender, identity, all individuals from government action. So think of a police officer making a mistake in arresting somebody. That's a civil liberty violation. Okay, so if he pulls you over and doesn't have probable cause to search your car, he violated your civil liberties. If a police officer pulled you over and was racial profiling, that's a civil rights issue. Okay, I hope that explains it. Kreisman's interesting. All right, Bradley, I'm going to check my phone and see what you said now. Oh, he doesn't have any questions. Anybody have any questions? Anyone? Bueller, questions? Throw them into Remind. It's 8:30, kids. It's getting near that time. Let me pep talk y'all a little bit. Y'all know this stuff. Y'all know it. You know it. How? How do I know this? I'm your teacher. I know things. You know it. Gosh darn it. Okay? Don't freak yourself out. You know this. Trust yourself. You've taken, 5 or 6 of these practice tests? 5 or 6 of these practice tests. Y'all got it? Who's the other 11 people? I feel like it's awfully quiet in the chat for 11 people. Awfully quiet in the chat room. So really and truly, best thing you can do is sleep tonight and let it go, right? After this, put the books away. What I would like to go over really quickly is I'm going to pop up this little graphic. I popped it up at the review this afternoon. Oh, Remind. Court law. Jesse, I don't even know what court laws means. Do you mean court cases? Yeah, okay. That's a good question, Paisley. I actually have a list. Let me pull up this list. You can find some stuff. I'm tweeting stuff, retweeting stuff. Okay, good. Court cases. All right. I just retweeted this. If you go to my Twitter, there are a top 10 court cases. Okay. Number 1 is Marbury versus Madison. You have got to know the court case that established judicial review, and that judicial review is the court's ability to declare things unconstitutional. Okay. Next, McCullough versus Maryland. Okay. That one is important to remember. Maryland tried to tax the United States Bank. That established the Supremacy Clause. The Supremacy Clause was in the Constitution and says, hey, listen, no law or action can violate the Constitution. It is the supreme law of the land. Okay. So that is our Supremacy Clause. Again, I'm reading these straight off my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, there is a link that looks like this. I have retweeted it. These guys are all call themselves AP GovPro. And if you click their link, it opens you up and it orders in specific the important court cases for you to know. So McCullough versus Maryland, that's a confusing one. Okay, McCullough versus Maryland, I understand is very confusing. It's again the U.S. establishing. Oh, look at Juan. Juan just answered Jesse's question. That's proud of you, Juan. You're my boy, Juan. Okay. Brown versus Board ended school segregation. Okay, is this even showing up? I should have probably checked that before. I'm like, oh, let's put my phone up here. That's not showing up at all. Look, a giant glowing box, kids. That doesn't work at all. That's dumb of me. Okay. Anyway, Brown versus Board of Education ended segregation. So you need to also know Plessy v. Ferguson, which established segregation and said, states, if you want to make it separate but equal, that's okay. We're all right with that. Okay. Okay, what else here? Gitlow versus New York, okay? Gitlow versus New York's one I did a bad job of going over, and I realized over the past few days. Gitlow establishes due process. What happened was Gitlow was an anarchist and advocated the overthrowing of the government. Oh, good question. So Zoe noticed in her note cards there are 2 Brown v. boards. Zoe, I don't know if you need to know both, but let me explain them because they each are significant, okay? Brown v. Board 1. You gotta get some different color. It's double important, yeah, because there's 2. Okay, so here's what happens, all right? Brown v. Board ends segregation in schools. Yay, segregation's gone, okay? It ends segregation in schools. Very good thing. And it reverses Plessy, okay? Plessy v. Ferguson, which started segregation. So Brown v. Board 1 gets rid of segregation in schools. Yay, Brown v. Board 1. Brown v. Board 2 is the schools come back to the Supreme Court and said, hey, when are we supposed to desegregate? Like right now? Next year? 10? How long do we have to desegregate? And the Supreme Court didn't give them a specific timeline, and that's going to create a problem. What the Supreme Court says is schools should desegregate with all deliberate speed. And no one in their right mind had any idea what that meant. So Brown v. Board 1 year says, okay, school segregation's over. The schools come back and say, yeah, but when? And the court says, well, end it with all deliberate speed. And the schools went, when specifically is that? So schools in the South actually took like 10, 15, 20 years to desegregate and said, yeah, we're going to get around to it. Okay, we're going to desegregate at some point. Okay, and all that stuff. So that's why there's 2 Brown v. Boards. I haven't seen the second Brown v. Board case asked about in FRQ world. I don't know if it's been asked about on the multiple choice recently. I highly doubt it. I bet you just need to know the 1 Brown v. Board. Okay, so if that helps. So let me continue. Remember, Mapp versus Ohio. They have to have a search warrant. Ohio, its police officers went into the woman's house, found things unrelated to their investigation, and charged her with it anyway. That's against the law. Gideon versus Wainwright. You have a right to an attorney. Okay, that's as simple as it is. If you can't afford an attorney, one can be appointed for you. That line should sound really familiar. That comes straight from Gideon. Miranda versus Arizona. I don't even know what that means. So Miranda versus Arizona. My dog just came in. Wrigley. Hold on, let's take a look at the dog. Wrigley. Come here. The kids would like you to stop barking now, okay? Please stop barking. Thank you. Okay, quick dog break. So in Miranda versus Arizona, the court said, hey, people have to know there are rights, that they have a right to remain silent and a right to an attorney before or after, immediately after you put them under arrest, okay? Tinker v. Des Moines, student free speech related to the government is protected free speech. Roe v. Wade, abortion's legal because because of a right to privacy between a doctor and a patient to determine best to deal with this. U.S. v. Lopez is the guy with a gun in a school zone that limited Congress's commerce power. Okay, and then and this one I want to talk about for a hot quick second here. Let me pull back up that list. Okay. Heart of Atlanta Motel. I tried to get you guys in the Heart of Atlanta Motel. Yeah, I can go over the clauses, Paisley. I'll put that next, okay? Heart of Atlanta Motel. I talked about this one extensively in class. That should be U.S., right? Heart of Atlanta, that'd be U.S., yeah. Okay. Oh, what's that, Jesse? Jesse clearly doesn't know about timeout. Enjoy your 300-second timeout. Bye, Jesse. Bye. Bye, Jesse. Everybody say bye to Jesse. He's going to a 300-second timeout. Okay, Heart of Atlanta versus U.S. Okay, established. Okay, so established Congress, okay, as power to make Civil Rights Act under Commerce Clause. This was in the 1960s when the Civil Rights Movement was going. The Congress passed something called the Civil Rights Act, which said, businesses, you cannot deny someone service at your business because of their race. You can't do it, okay? It also said something about gender as well. It said you can't deny service based off of this. Heart of Atlanta Motel goes, wait a minute. We're in Atlanta. We're not a national chain. How can the United States Congress tell us what to do? And so they fought it to the Supreme Court and said, hey, we don't have to let black people stay here at the Heart of Atlanta Motel. We are not interstate commerce. We're a singular hotel. How is this working? So the Supreme Court said, yeah, but commerce, Heart of Atlanta Motel, you're kind of close to an interstate road. So because you're close and because you advertise out of state, they can do this underneath the Commerce Clause combined with the Elastic Clause. It is necessary and proper for them to do it. Because if you're denying business to a set of people, you are hurting commerce. And thus, the United States can make this law underneath necessary and proper. Surely it doesn't say anything about what hotels do inside their hotel and who they allow to stay there in the Constitution. It just doesn't, okay? But Commerce Clause says, again, Congress has the ability to regulate interstate and foreign commerce. That means buying and selling. Commerce means buying and selling, okay? As long as it's between two states. Elastic allows them to do what is necessary and proper, okay? Yes, Elastic Clause is the exact same thing as necessary and proper. Elastic Clause is just a lot easier to write on this whiteboard thing. It leans literally the same thing. Literally. It's not close. It's literally, okay? Yeah, so it is implied powers. Necessary and proper is an example of an implied power, okay? Oh, you forgot necessary and proper? How dare you? How dare you forget necessary and proper? Keithan, you're on my list, bud. You're on my list. Is Jesse back from his 300-second timeout? Can I take? I need like a timeout chair. Where's a timeout chair for me to use? Gosh darn. Okay. So any more questions about that? That was a really good one. Heart of Atlanta. I hope that got into clauses. So Paisley wants to go more into clauses. Paisley, hopefully you got the necessary, proper, and elastic clause thing. Commerce is another clause. I'm trying to think. Supremacy. So let me write down a few. Hold, please. Why can't I type into the chat? Is it because I'm talking here? Is it because I'm chit-chatting? I feel like I need a voice. Keith, necessary and proper and elastic are the same thing. Necessary and proper just says Congress has the ability to do what is necessary and proper to carry out their powers. Okay? And so that creates a long thing. Who's in timeout? I'm in timeout? How dare you? How dare you accuse me of such? Okay, let me write down some clauses. Pop up some more questions for me to answer. Let me write down. Paisley, this one's for you. No. Jesse, don't ask questions. Shh. I'm going to church. I don't know what Miss Fullen's doing. She's probably making copies. Let's go over necessary and proper. Because I feel like you kids are super, super confused. Oh, you will find out what I'm wearing tomorrow. It is fantastic. Necessary and proper. Any other clauses I want to go over? Supremacy, necessary and proper. I love full faith and credit. Maybe it'll be on the test. And then I want to go over some of the First Amendment clauses, two specifically. No, I can't give you guys permission. Do I look like I get paid enough to give you guys permission to go anywhere? Okay, so supremacy clause. Let's talk about that sucker. Constitution is supreme law of the land. So, supremacy clause makes it so the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. No other government law or action, whether it be local, national, state, dog catcher, can violate the Constitution. Anything written in the Constitution's articles and amendments cannot be violated. Okay? This is where judicial review is interpreted or implied to come from to the Supreme Court. They're essentially checking all government laws and actions to make sure it doesn't violate the Constitution. And if it does, they take that law or action out. It does not stand. So supremacy clause, very important, okay? Necessary and proper clause. Okay, great, Keith, and I'll answer that in a minute. That's great. So media and the presidential election. I got that down. Let me go through these clauses. Necessary and proper. Congress can make, you all hear the clock in the background, I'm sure, any law to help with powers. Okay, so Congress has a giant list of powers. Necessary and proper says Congress can make any law to help with those powers, to carry out those powers. So again, Congress has commerce power, okay? And it just says Congress will have power over interstate commerce and foreign commerce. That's all the Constitution says. So that's pretty vague. But if you look at the necessary and proper clause and read, oh, well, then they can do anything to help them carry out commerce. So let's say we need roads connecting all the states so goods and people can move back and forth. We'll call them interstates. Congress funded those, made those underneath their power of commerce and the necessary and proper clause. Okay, that's very important. Okay. All right. And let's go full faith and credit. Woo! Full faith and credit. This is important in federalism. States have to recognize Okay, so states have to recognize licenses and documents from other states. So that's why when you cross the Tennessee border going into Georgia, you don't need a Georgia license. Your Tennessee license allows you to drive in Georgia. You still have to obey the Georgia laws, though, should they be different from Tennessee. But it's not like you have to go, oh, I have to stop here at the border and grab my new license, okay? That type of stuff, okay? Ooh, look, you guys are answering. Holy crap. Yes, Keith, I can go over that. That's how I was going to answer your question. Creasman kind of beat me to it. Look at Creasman go, man. Creasman, you've been studying. I'm taking a picture of that. I'm putting this on Twitter.com. Twitter.com's getting that in a minute. All right, remind me to put that up here in a minute. Oh my gosh, it's almost time for us to stop, okay? So let me go over media. Media has three very, very important functions, okay? Media wants to be gatekeeper, okay? Gatekeeper. We're up to 11 folks watching. Gatekeeper. Media wants to be scorekeeper. And Keithan, I'm gonna couch this inside a presidential election because the three roles they have doesn't change because of what they cover. Okay, if that makes any sense at all, probably not. But hold on. And agenda setter. Okay, these are the three roles of media. Okay, or their most important roles. So as gatekeeper, they decide what gets attention. Woo. Okay, so they decide as gatekeeper what gets attention. Right now, someone in a newsroom is deciding what stories are going on the 11 o'clock news and in what order. The order is going to be agenda setter. Okay, scorekeeper. It's not green. Okay, scorekeeper. They tell us who won elections and debates, and they keep us up to date on polls. So if you remember back to the presidential election, you would turn on the news and say, oh my gosh, Hillary Clinton is going to run away with the presidential election. And that's them playing their scorekeeper. They're like, hey, everybody, Hillary's winning. Big upset if Donald Trump wins. And that's why everybody was so surprised that Donald Trump won, is the media in its scorekeeper role kept telling us, the polls are telling us that they're going to win. Hillary's going to win. Donald's not. It'll be a huge upset. Okay, agenda setter. Okay, so agenda setter prioritizes how much and when stories get attention. So that goes back to their gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, they decide if you get through the door, okay, if you're going to get attention or not. Agenda setter, they decide when and how much attention you're going to get. So I'm going to use an example from this previous presidential election. There was a guy that ran against Hillary Clinton named Martin O'Malley. Heard of him? Nope. He ran against her as a Democrat. He was one of 3 Democratic candidates. You have no idea who Martin O'Malley is. Because, well, he got coverage as gatekeeper. They said, okay, we'll cover you. He didn't get on the agenda. Look, I'm looking underneath my board. Okay, he did not get on the agenda. So that's media playing the role. They said, okay, you get in, but we get to decide where and when and how much time you get. And Martin O'Malley, you are really boring. We are not giving you much attention at all, okay? That's important to understand, okay? Yeah, so I hope I've gone over that and all that good stuff. If that makes any questions. Scorekeeper tells us who wins the elections. They'll also tell us, if you notice, tomorrow the Republicans have brought back their health care bill, and they're going to vote on it in the House. If that goes wrong, the media is going to declare the Democrats the winner. If it gets passed, they'll declare the president, and specifically Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, the winner in that situation, okay? Okay. Yeah, Paisley, you need to know them all, my friend. Know them. I mean, I have nothing else to say on amendments than 1 through 27. All are equally as big. I would say, if anything, the voting amendments, okay? So Amendment 15, Amendment 26. Okay, these are the voting amendments. Okay, Paisley. 15th, women. Oh, no, my God, not women. Sorry. Black males. Okay. Somebody's got me. Okay, John, I'll answer your question in 1 second. Sorry, I just saw it, buddy. Okay, and 26, 21, or 18-year-olds can vote. Paisley, I would say these are fairly important. You need to know the first 10 plus these plus 25 plus no 1 through 27. There's no great answer here, but these are voting. Black males get the right to vote. 19 women get the right to vote. 26 18-year-olds get the right to vote. Okay? There's no other great way to handle the amendments. You just have to know them. And that's a good last-minute studying tip. In the morning and tonight, and I really recommend you guys go to bed after this, go over your amendments and court cases. Those are the only things that can really trip you up. Everything else you can probably logic out. And again, remember, the multiple choice section is fast. Okay, you got to make split-second decisions. You got to go with your gut. The FRQ is slow, methodical. Like I said, bleed the question to death. Don't leave a stone uncovered when it comes to that. All right, let me jump back in the chat here, see if there's any questions. Okay, Keithan, I'll get to that right now. Okay, so Paisley, I hope that helps a little bit with 15, 19, and 26. Yes, Titus. That just helped my soul. Where did my cap go to that pen? Keithan, I'm going to go into that. Are they watching, Keithan? One, I'm not doing jurisdiction. It's original versus appellate. Original, Curtis first hears it. Appellate, you appeal the decision of the original court to another court. Okay? I just went over it really quick for you. That's because I like you, Juan. You're my boy. All right. Yeah, Jesse, I'll get to yours. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot John's question. Yeah. So, John, judicial review is really simple. John asked, hey, what's the difference between judicial review and activism? And they're not specifically related. Okay, declare any law or action unconstitutional. Okay, Bradley asked the difference between judicial review and judicial activism. Judicial review, very simply, is using the supremacy clause, the Supreme Court using supremacy clause to declare any law or action unconstitutional. Okay? Every federal court in appellate jurisdiction is using this. Okay? Largely used by appellate courts, mainly used by the Supreme Court. Okay? That's that. Okay, judicial activism. I'm going to move this up here. Clear the, gosh darn it, why can't I figure out how whiteboards work? I need it, I guess over there. Judicial activism, judges bend the Constitution to their personal beliefs, okay? Judicial activism is actually more of an accusation. Judicial activism is an idea that a judge isn't making decisions based in law or the Constitution, but on their own beliefs and finding a way to meld it into the Constitution. Okay, so judicial activism is bad. Judicial review is used by everybody and their mother just to declare any law or action unconstitutional if it violates the supremacy clause. Okay, I think I dealt with that one. Good. John Bradley, I'm sure, has just texted in Reminder 101, you're the greatest teacher, and that's amazing. Okay. Breakfast tomorrow is going to be a real mixture. Jesse, 9th, 10th Amendment. Great, great, great. Let's go over it. John? Coolio. Will YouTube cut your live stream off exactly at 1 hour? Will you start up a new one? Oh, am I close to the 1 hour? I think it will cut me at 1 hour. No, I don't think so. Let's all experiment. Yes, I'll start a new one just for a second. Should I get cut off in an hour? Let's hope. Okay. All right. So where was I? 9th and 10th. 9th, very simply. Okay. 9, 10. 10th, not in Constitution, it goes to the state. Tech 9, okay, is not in con, goes to the people. These are sometimes called the reserve amendments, okay? Especially 10 is called reserved powers. Keithan, did your friends have a question? I totally forgot it. Okay, 9, not in the Constitution, goes to the people. 10 is reserved powers, not in the Constitution, goes to the state. You may read the Constitution and be very surprised. There's nothing about murder in there. There's nothing about stealing. That goes to the states. The states have the right to make the law there, okay? So that's important. Keithan, let me catch up in here. No, Zoe, there's going to be donuts. Donuts. I am picking up $50 worth of donuts tomorrow morning. There will be, Christodoulou decided to throw some stuff in there. Yes, they did. It was on bureaucracy in the Congress. Yes, great, great, great. Sorry, Keith, and I know I lost that one, bud. Are they watching right now, or are they going to watch later? Keithan, can you tell me that? I'm cool with whatever they're doing. I just want to know if it's live or they're going to have to, like, fast forward to this. Am I still on? I'm about to be at 59:59. Let's see if it cuts me. Nope, I'm over an hour. Am I still live? Tell me if I'm alive. I'm at hour 4, hour 5. Am I alive? I feel alive. They're watching right now. Yes. All right. Sweet. We got more people. I just did a really geeky. Let's not talk about. Okay. Great. Great. So let's go over that. And you know what I'm going to draw? I'm going to draw your guys' favorite thing ever. Dun 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 dun. Okay, it's our good old friend, the Iron Triangle. Okay, congressional committees at top. Instagram. I just said Instagram. Oh boy. Interest groups at a corner and bureaucracy at a corner. So let me explain how this works. Okay, because he was asking about. Let me make sure I got this right. You're live. You're live. You're dead. No, not Makers. Titus, do I look like I'm made out of money? $50 at Makers is about 5 donuts. John, I feel like you are standing outside my house. John's been joking the dog's barking because he's walking around my house right now, and I kind of believe that. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so what does Congress give to the bureaucracy? Funding! Remember that power of the purse, the sweet, sweet, sweet cash of Congress, yo. Congressional committee gives to the bureaucracy funding. Wow, I look like I'm really special. Bureaucracy gets that funding. So this flows, let me draw my arrow a little bit more clear there. Funding, money flows from the congressional committee. Remember, power of the purse in Congress. They hold the purse. All the money goes from Congress to the bureaucracy. Okay? Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so what does the bureaucracy give back in return? Great question, Self. I'm so good at the understanding of the government. Okay? Bureaucracy gives back better discretion. Remember, bureaucracy's big power is bureaucratic discretion. Okay? So what the bureaucracy gives back is a discretion that Congress is going to like a lot better. Or what the interest groups are going to like a lot better. Dun dun dun. Okay? So this is the flow of the relationship. Now, Congress can also have hearings. Okay? So over this all, and this whole relationship in the Iron Triangle is hearings. And those are a pain in the butt for everybody. If you're the member of the bureaucracy, if you get called to a congressional committee for a hearing, you're going to have to answer questions under oath, like you are in. And if you lie, Congress can put you in jail for lying to them. So hearings are no fun. So, to recap, congressional committees give to the bureaucracy funding. Bureaucracy in exchange gives better discretion. Okay? All right. So let me complete the Iron Triangle here because I feel like I have to. So what does the IG give to the Congressional Committee? Hello, Titus. Do I like chai? No, I don't like chai. What do I look like, a hippie? Don't answer that. They give electoral support. Okay, so why do I keep wanting to call it Instagram? Let's not get judgy, kids. Okay, the interest group gives the congressional committee electoral support because what's on the committee is a bunch of people that have to run for office every 2 or 6 years. So the interest group says, hey, we've got PACs, we've got super PACs, we'll give you money, we'll run ads, we'll support you when you run if you give us, oh, this is going to get crazy, all the colors. Okay, friendly laws. Okay, so they say, all right, congressional committee, give us those friendly laws and we'll give you money. Okay, now remember, laws are really broad. No one's calling me. Don't ask questions. Okay, laws are really broad. It's the bureaucracy that implements the laws. Like, well, that's upside down. It's the bureaucracy that implements the laws. So the interest group still needs the bureaucracy to behave how it wants to behave, okay? Also, if we had to say this, electoral support is achieved through lobbying. 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 Keithan? Oh. Keithan, you just sent me into an exercise. I know it's terrible. Listen to the sound of my voice. It's loud and obnoxious. Okay. So, lobbying is how the keep calling it Instagram. Why the interest group, okay, convinces the congressional committee or the members of the congressional committee who have to run every 2 to 4 years on this. Okay, so what does the bureaucracy give? Okay. Again, they're going to give better discretion. Okay? They're going to give better discretion. And the The interest group, my God. The interest group is going to give them lobbying help. Okay, and this completes it, okay? So they get better discretion, friendlier to the interest group, which can be businesses or whatever. The interest group will lobby on behalf of the bureaucracy to the congressional committee. And this is the iron triangle, okay? This is the iron triangle. Keithan, I want you to read this back to me right now. No? Okay, well, whatever. You know what? Juan, you're this close to a timeout, Juan. Great question, Keithan. Keithan's asking all the good ones right now. I need you all to get on Keithan's level. Keithan's level. We're down to 9. It's 9:08, so I'm going to close up. One more question after this one, and then I'm done. So lobbying is where interest groups, okay, interest groups okay, so here's what lobbying is. Sorry, I just tried to work something out on the whiteboard. It didn't make sense. I'm going to have to talk for this one. It's not like you can read my handwriting anyway. Lobbying is when an interest group goes to a congressperson and says, hey, we need this law, or we need you not to vote on this law, or whatever. We need you to do something, dear Mr. Congressman or woman. Okay? And the interest group says, if you kill this law, or write this law, or introduce this law, or vote for this law, we will give you support when you have to run for election in 2 or 6 years if you're a senator. So that's very appealing because these people have to run in elections all the time. So lobbying is when an interest group tries to persuade Congress to act on a policy. Lawmaking and policy process and all that are pretty much meaning the same thing, okay? Keithan, I hope that takes care of it for you. One more question. Keithan, if you need to ask another one with that, that's fine. One more question, we're going to shut it down for the night, and you guys are going to bed. I'll wait. I'm not above it. Pork barreling. Well, it's pork barrels. It's pork barrel. Okay. So remember, Congress controls the purse. A pork barrel and earmarks are kind of the same thing. Pork barrel is when a congressperson, so let's say our member of the House of Representatives, Jimmy Duncan, okay? Let me say this, okay? Tax dollars, okay? And then this is, judge me for this, Keithan. Okay, Knox. All right. Okay, so pork streaming. And I'm back, everybody. Okay, minor setback. Okay, we are asking about 3 things: pork barrel, earmarks, and log rolling. Okay? All right, so here's my pork barrelness. Yeah, I'm pretty sure John Bradley's been sending me threatening text messages. Yeah, he's telling me I better not cry. I don't know. He's telling me I better not cry. Okay, so when tax dollars flow from the national government to Tennessee because of John Duncan, our representative, that's pork. He's bringing home the bacon, is where that comes from. Okay, that is pork barrel spending. He does that through earmarks. Okay, in the budget, he earmarks specific projects that can be done here in Tennessee. And he brings that money home to us. So the green is the money, and that's the pork. The earmarks is how he gets the pork to us here in Knoxville as our representative. Okay? Log rolling Log rolling is when two Congress people agree to trade votes to support each other's bills. Okay? Again, it's like that clip. Again, if you don't know what log rolling is, simply type it into YouTube after this. Two congressmen get on a log and they have to keep moving at the same time or they both fall off. So they're agreeing to trade votes and work together to help each other achieve their goals in the lobbying. Okay, so I hope that takes care of it. Earmarks, pork barreling, and log rolling is where we're going to end tonight. Just to know, you guys got this. Y'all have worked so freaking hard. Tomorrow is the 6th AP exam you've taken. Not the 5th, the 6th. You've been there, you've done that, you know what to expect, you know what you need to do. On the FRQs, watch those verbs. Answer the question. On explain hows, you have to turn the question into your topic sentence. And it doesn't hurt to repeat your topic sentence throughout. David, I'm getting Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to have glazed and sprinkled chocolate. But I'm in the middle of a pep talk, buddy. I know you're not usually my student. You're not used to my Mr. EGERT inspirational corner over here. It's going to be delicious. And I might be bringing some donut holes. Let's not get crazy, though. We don't want to go nuts. Okay? So, slow down. Fight the FRQs. Fight them as hard as you can. Throw everything. If you don't know, if you flat out don't know, throw everything at it. Just throw. Just take everything, find the term you do know in the question and go, I'm going to throw everything at you. Get all the points you can from the FRQ. Multiple choice, triage. Remember, multiple choice, your brain wants to go fast. It wants to rush through it, and it's understandable. 60 questions in 45 minutes. My class, you've done 60 questions in 30 minutes. 45 minutes, luxury. You have a luxurious amount of time. Okay? Okay. All right. Hey, Wrigley, the students are... Riggs! Here comes the dog. Give her a minute. All right, we'll close with the usual Wrigley making her appearance. Come here. Come on. Come on up. All right, Wrigley. Let's see. All right, Wrigley's trying to make her appearance for the night. All right, Riggs. This is the barking monster you've been hearing. She loves to bark. Juan, if you make a comment, you're dead to me. Okay? All right, guys. Really and truly, most important thing you can do now, go relax. Get some sleep. That's that. Okay? The hay is in the barn. Look over your amendments. Look over your court cases in the morning. Other than that, you got it. Okay? You got it. All right, everybody. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I will be in my room 307 at 7:15 a.m., probably a little bit earlier. If you get there earlier, just remind 101 me and I'll come open the door for you. If you get there after 7:45, go to room 323. Be there by 8 a.m. or I will come and find you. And you don't want me to come find you after 8 a.m. It will not be a fun experience for either one of us. I'll have a really grouchy look on my face, okay? All right, guys. Thank you all for all your hard work. Tomorrow you get to show it off, okay? I love y'all. I believe in y'all. You're going to get 5s. Let's do it. All right. See you later.